This review of Sonic Mania Plus may contain spoilers and coarse language, and is also an update on my Sonic Mania review, so I highly recommend you check that out before checking out this one. So after about a year of being on the market, Sega decided to surprise fans with a brand new downloadable content patch for Sonic Mania. This also came with a physical release of the game along with many of the fixes. So what does that mean? Well, it means my review is, it's outdated. I got an update with you guys on all the neat things Sonic Mania added and changed. I mean, you did watch the review, right? You wouldn't lie to me, right? So, what did Sonic Mania change? What did it add? Is the game even better? Is it worse? Well, I guess we better find out. Not starting with the story, but with the new things that were added. So what does the DLC bring to the table? 3 pretty huge things. The first is the new mode, Encore Mode. This is a mode where you go through the game again with some subtle changes, like a new color palette, some different level design, and brand spankin' new special stages to play through. Very neat stuff. The second are 2 new characters, or at least older Sonic characters that are being re-added to a game after about 20 years of them being absent. Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel. These 2 characters have such a unique history with Sonic the Hedgehog, and when they were announced for the game, certainly made some people's heads explode. I'm one of those people because I love these guys so much. They're some of my favorite Sonic characters, so yeah, I'm glad they're in this game. We'll talk more about these 2, but they are indeed new characters that are a welcome addition. The third thing is not entirely linked to the DLC. If you have the base Sonic Mania game, you will also get the third thing, which are large gameplay alterations that make the game either better or more memorable. Which for sure we'll talk about later. Now, let's get into the story. First things first with the story. While it doesn't explain things much better, it still has many brand spankin' new cutscenes that have been added to the game. So now it shows you how all the places are connected to each other. It even references other Sonic media, which is just wonderful and a really nice touch. As well, Encore Mode has its own story mode, detailing why Sonic, Mighty, or Ray have to go through all the levels again. After Sonic came back from going through a train wreck, he had to find a capsule and found Mighty and Ray trapped inside. But one of them was apparently the Heavy Magician, showing that the Heavy Magician took the Phantom Ruby and gave it to the Heavy King, who used it to, well, make you go through the game again. Hey, whatever, that's fair. Comes with a new ending too when you beat it, along with variations without and with all the Chaos Emeralds. Gameplay remains the same with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Everything I've said and praised about them remains as is, with some mighty fine momentum physics that make characters have a lot of weight. Ah, that's a good feeling to have in a game. What would I know about that? Mighty and Ray, being brand spankin' new characters, have some new toys to play with. Mighty has a bubble shield-like attack where he drops to the ground and smashes through everything on the way down. The impact is so great that it actually shakes item boxes down onto the ground too, making finding hidden items way easier with him. As well, when Mighty hits spikes, he uncurls instead of instantly getting hit, meaning that he's got a cute safety net for traversing. I love Mighty. He's a really fun character, and while I wish he had his broken monster of a wall kick from Knuckles Chaotix, I'm satisfied still with how he plays. Not only that, but he's an extremely safe character to play, due to how tough it is to uncurl him and the after invincibility he gets when uncurling. He's a great character to use for boss fights and can be extremely fun to play as. But with Ray, I wasn't ready for Ray. Listen, you like having fun, right? You enjoy playing video games, correct? Ray the Flying Squirrel. You're gonna love using him. Ray's ability is that he's able to glide through the air, kind of like Knuckles can. But he also has momentum physics to his glide, where he can dive down and come back up very high. To make a comparison, it's very similar to the Cape power-up from Super Mario World. However, it's turned up to 11. With a simple spin dash, you can basically clear out entire levels. If you get all the Chaos Emeralds and go super with him, he becomes even more of a monster, because his acceleration is so crazy high that you can almost go sextuple his jump height from moving for a second. He is so incredibly fun to use, and I love playing as him so much. You may not know this, but Ray is so awesome. When I went to a convention called Sonic and Sega Fan Jam in 2018, I used him in a Sonic Mania competition mode contest and won. Yeah, the grand prize was a Sega Genesis Model 1 with the entire mainline Sonic games on it, which, yeah, that was pretty cool. Too bad that fucking stream isn't archived, but I'm sure my friends will verify that indeed I did that. But whatever. Anyway, my point is, Ray is awesome, alright? You love him, I love him. Ray is just fucking awesome. Period. So with that, there also comes more changes to the gameplay. Encore mode isn't as simple as a palette swap with just a few things replaced. It also adds a lives mechanic that's incredibly cool. While games with live systems tend to have a very high life cap, you have one here at 5. So you have a pool of all 5 characters, and you can switch between 2 at a time. But if you die or hit a monitor to switch your character, you'll be able to change to the other character in the lineup. To put it bluntly, this mode is awesome. It makes you evaluate who you're playing as, and does some goofy stuff like force Knuckles into areas he couldn't go before, or vice versa, with some questionable results. Kinda boring that Ray's just standing there, thanks. But you also have to play skillfully. All those characters are chances. If you lose all 5 of your chances, game over. This makes the game way more strategic, and makes you conserve your lives or best characters. Or maybe not. You have to decide which way to go through the mode, and it's so fun. This also means that Encore mode is also much more difficult. If you complained about Sonic Mania having lives in it, well, first of all... And secondly, the mode may not be for you. It's much harder when you have a limited pool of chances, and if you just charge through the game with absurd lives to get to the end, well, that doesn't sound very fun, and if you did that, you should probably change how you play. That's what lives force you to do. This difficulty is also reflected in the special stages, which are much more difficult than in the original game, almost as if they're continuing off of the difficulty they ended on. This added difficulty makes it much more rewarding to clear them, however, and makes being super a much better reward. Speaking of unique stages, the bonus game that was originally Blue Sphere is either completely gone or replaced once you actually get all the gold coins. I don't know, I did that already, and I didn't want to find out if I'd still have to do it. Replaced with the small and cute pinball one that rewards you with items, which is a huge improvement. I actually look forward to the bonus stages now because I get the chance to get something helpful. It's great. In terms of other unique things that are new, the main menu has been completely revamped, showing a cute preview but at the cost of not showing all the options at once. Which, I kind of like the older menu, but hey, it isn't gonna murder the game. Some other changes come in like miscellaneous bug fixes. I noticed that these guys patched out the ability to sequence break the final boss, so... yeah, now this boss is a lot longer again. But the biggest one has to be changes with bosses. First thing I want to cover is that no, I think I was stupid saying the Heavy Gunner fight was fun. The more bad luck I got it with its random missile firing, the more I started to think that, you know what, maybe this boss is kind of a piece of shit. Its bad luck meant the boss was longer for no reason. Still cool how well they looped it though. But a more beneficial change is now the Egg Spider only takes 6 hits instead of 8 to beat him. My only guess is that this was made for pacing changes because if you're not very good against this boss, yeah, it's gonna suck. But Metal Sonic, holy crap! Talk about a brand spankin' new revamp. Not only is his boss fight much quicker, he also turns into Metal Sonic Kai at the end, and has a cool fight to go with it. Mostly, he's way harder now than he was before. So it's kind of a juicy difficulty spike, but a cool one nonetheless. A much better improvement. Now with more and more changes come modifications to the graphics. While many of the art assets remain the same, the color palette, as stated before, changes in Encore mode, with a lot of them bringing new tones to the level. There's even a change of Mirage Saloon going from day to dawn in the original, from going to dusk to night. Very gorgeous stuff. Mighty and Ray's sprites are also fantastic, being very smooth and featuring lots of nice coloring and goofy details. I love both of their wind poses too. Very great stuff. There is one issue with Mighty though, where if he goes super and then transforms out of it, his palette gets all fucked up. Well, I don't think I need to mention that in changes, that's something you guys definitely gotta fix. With sound, the soundtrack is mostly the same. They added tracks such as the full version of Angel Island Act 1, Trap Tower from Sega Sonic for the Pinball bonus stage, and some other remixes like the character select theme being Volcanic Valley from Sega Sonic. And the new save selection music for Encore mode, which is alright. That Trap Tower remix though, that is some good ass stuff. Otherwise, it seems that the soundtrack for this game is identical to what it was before. There may be some differences in terms of mixing, but I'm not an audiophile, so I don't really care. Sound effects also remain the same, with them adding some new ones for Mighty and Ray, which work very well. I love Mighty's uncurl sound and Ray's gliding sounds. There's also a sound effect I didn't really notice before, which is when you have a fire shield and you deflect a projectile, it makes a pew sound. Honestly, it may work with all the other shields, but I don't care. This is cute. So now we come to changes. What could I change to make this game just a little extra better? Especially now that it's got all these brand spankin' new things to play with. Luckily, the changes I wanted in the first video were brief, and so there's been things that have been fixed, like Metal Sonic's new Kai phase, and the de novo DRM has been removed. There have also been things I've been wrong about, like how the bubble shield actually does have a use. Still not good against the bubble enemies, even though they are probably made of the same material. That still leaves the problem of Sonic-only paths, which I'd like to see more of. As well, some other boss tune-ups like Hydrosity's Act 2 boss is still a copy-paste. I would again iterate that I'd like to have the boss here be more original. Maybe get rid of the water, that would really mix things up. Also, making the heavy gunner fight have a lot less randomness would be cool. It gets annoying when the final missile is the last one 3 times in a row. So having a flat rate of the first one, and then the second, and then the third, and just looping from that would be fine and much more consistent. By the way, it's still pretty fucking annoying that the special stages springs are hard to notice. Yeah, make those 3D models, guys, because this is fucking annoying. But one larger change is to fix the fucking game's fetish with one-way walls. Something I didn't talk about in the original game's level design is that there are a lot of moments where the game just has these random one-way walls where you can't progress. It's so fucking annoying to explore this game, find something, stop, and try to go back. You can go back, but there's just some stupid wall there for no reason. Ditch them! There's no point of having them, and I don't understand why they're there in the first place. Loading the rest of the level? Optimize the game better. Forcing progress? Only good for the beginning of boss fights. Just don't do things like that. It's better to make something nigh impossible to re-access over making it really easy to re-access and just having a fucking wall there. Luckily, it's a Sonic game, so you're mostly going forward, but even then, you still don't need stupid shit like that. But that seems to be all I have to say about changes. So that's what's new with Sonic Mania, and honestly, it's worth it. For $5 redos, you get 2 brand spanking new characters, a hard mode with major gameplay changes, and if that wasn't enough, you can just have the base game and you'd still get some of the updates like the revised Metal Sonic fight and the new cutscenes. If you get this game physically for $30, and on a console, you also get this cool comic to go with it. If you like fast-paced platformers, this game and its DLC are definitely up your alley. If you want some more fast-paced games, I think you get a kick out of my game, Necrolepsy. Has a lot of momentum physics and combat if that's your kind of thing. Regardless, Sonic Mania Plus is some solid DLC. And the bug fixes Mania has had since its release have been awesome. So with that being said, I still do recommend Sonic Mania, even more than before. It is quite a fantastic game, and if you haven't picked it up already, what are you waiting for?